All right, let's jump into another deep dive. Today, we're taking a look at Prodentum.
Prodentum.
You got it. We're going to figure out what this oral health supplement's all about,
Okay.
how it works, does it actually work, and how it stacks up against all the competition.
Yeah.
We've got articles, research, all sorts of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and even a Springer Nature study that linked good teeth
Oh,
to the bacteria in your mouth.
interesting.
That's not what you usually think about when you're thinking about taking care of your teeth.
Those are really weird. It really challenges the whole idea of just brush and floss, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like what we're finding out now is there's this whole world of oral microbiome
Right.
that's like an ecosystem of bacteria in your mouth.
Oh, okay.
And it's actually way more complicated than we thought.
So is that what Prodentum is trying to tap into?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
It is. It's like a chewable probiotic.
Oh, interesting.
Different.
Yeah, most probiotics you think of pills or something.
Exactly, yeah.
So what's the thought behind that?
So the idea is that you're putting good bacteria directly into your mouth.
Okay.
See, a lot of the stuff we...
Toothpaste, mouthwash, all that.
Yeah, they're good at killing the bad bacteria.
Right.
But they kind of mess up the balance of the good bacteria too. And so Prodentum is supposed to put that good bacteria back in and help fix that balance.
So like reseeding your lawn after you've killed all the weeds.
Exactly. You need to bring back the good stuff.
Okay, I like that analogy. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about that Springer Nature study.
Okay, so in the study, they looked at all these people with different levels of dental health.
Okay.
And they found that the people with healthier teeth, they had a lot more good bacteria, like more different kinds and just more of it in general.
Wow.
And it seems like that good bacteria might actually protect against cavities and gum disease.
So maybe we've been going about it all wrong.
It's possible.
Focusing too much on killing all bacteria instead of helping the good stuff. So how does Prodentum actually help that good bacteria?
Well, it's got a bunch of stuff in it,
Okay.
like different probiotics and other ingredients.
Yeah, I saw that on the label.
So first, you've got those probiotics,
Right.
Lactobacillus paracausae.
That's a mouthful.
It is, yeah.
What does that one do?
It's really good for your gums, helps keep your sinuses clear.
Interesting.
Then there's B-lactis BL-04. That one helps balance the bacteria in your mouth.
Okay.
And also your respiratory tract.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's good for your immune system.
Okay, so that's doing a lot.
It is.
And what was the last one?
Lactobacillus reuteri. That one fights inflammation.
All right.
Helps keep your mouth healthy overall.
So those are like the main players.
You could say that, yeah.
And then they've got that proprietary blend, right?
Exactly.
The-
What's in that? So that's where it gets interesting.
Demo.
It has inulin, which is a prebiotic.
Prebiotic, what's that?
It's basically food for the good bacteria.
Oh,
Helps them grow.
Okay.
Then there's malic acid that's found in strawberries. Helps whiten your teeth.
nice.
Then tricalcium phosphate for strong teeth. And peppermint.
Oh, that's for the taste.
Yeah, but it also helps with inflammation too.
So they really thought this through, huh?
Seems like it.
Okay, so we've got Prodentum all figured out,
Yeah.
but how does it actually compare to other products?
Right.
We've got Finch Probiotics, Hyperbiotics Prodentis, Ora Pharma Probiotic, and Nature's Smile,
Okay.
all lined up here.
I think a good place to start is to look at what each one is supposed to do.
Okay, what do you mean?
Like Finch Probiotics, it's marketed for bad breath.
Okay.
It has Streptococcus salivarius K12. That's the bacteria that helps with breath.
Right, right.
But it doesn't have as many ingredients as Prodentum.
Mm.
And it doesn't really focus on all the other stuff Prodentum does.
Okay, so if your main thing is bad breath,
Then Finch might be a good choice.
yeah, that makes sense.
But if you're looking for something more well-rounded,
Prodentum might be better. Okay, what about Hyperbiotics Prodentis?
that one's interesting. It has 12 different probiotic strains.
Wow, that's a lot.
And prebiotics, too, like Prodentum.
Okay,
But they really focus on preventing gum disease and sensitivity.
all right.
They also talk a lot about the connection between oral health and the immune system.
So they're really honed in on gums and immunity?
Yeah, that seems to be their main thing.
Gotcha. Okay, what about Ora Pharma Probiotic?
That one is all about balance.
Balance.
Yeah, keeping the right amount of good and bad bacteria in your mouth.
Which we've talked about is super important.
Exactly.
Right.
They use Bifidobacterium lactis and Lactobacillus casei.
Okay,
Those are really good at fighting bad bacteria.
so they're like the warriors of the probiotic world.
You could say that, yeah.
All right, and lastly, Nature's Smile.
Now that one's a little different.
Different how?
It doesn't actually have any probiotics in it.
Really?
Nope, it's all herbal ingredients.
Oh, wow.
Like oak, silver fir, chamomile. Those are all good for soothing inflammation and sensitive gums.
So it's going for a more natural approach.
Yeah, it seems to be targeted towards people with serious gum
Or
problems.
people who just prefer natural remedies.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got a good overview of all the different products.
Mm-hmm.
I have to ask about something I read in one of the articles.
Okay.
They were talking about how teeth can survive for thousands of years outside the mouth.
Right.
But then something like chocolate can really mess them up once they're inside.
It's pretty crazy, right?
It is. Why do you think they included that?
Well, I think it's to show how fragile the balance in your mouth really is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like your teeth themselves are tough,
Right.
but when the environment in your mouth is off, that's when you get problems.
That's not just about what you put on your teeth, it's about the whole picture.
Yeah, things like your diet, medications, even some dental products can mess things up.
Okay, so it seems like Prodentum is trying to take that whole ecosystem into account.
That's what it looks like.
But before we really start comparing it to the competition,
Yeah.
let's take a quick break and come back to really get into the details of each product.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be back in a flash.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, we're back, and we're diving right back into how Prodentum measures up against the competition.
All right.
We've got a handy table from one of the articles we're looking at
Okay.
that compares all the features and the ingredients and even how much they cost.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get too deep into that,
Yeah.
I'm curious, are there any downsides to these oral probiotics? Like, what are some things we should be careful of?
That's a really good question because with any of these health products, there's always going to be some hype.
Right.
One thing to look out for is all those testimonials.
Oh, you mean like the "it changed my life" stories?
Exactly. Those can be really convincing,
They are.
but they don't always tell the whole story.
So it's kind of like one person's miracle cure is another person's, like, nothing burger.
Exactly. What works for one person might not do anything for someone else.
That's true.
That's why the science is so important.
Okay, so look for actual research.
Yeah, studies published in journals, not just anecdotes.
So no get perfect teeth overnight kind of stuff.
Probably not, no.
Good to know.
And another thing to look out for is transparency.
About.
The ingredients, where they come from.
Oh, okay.
Prodentum seems pretty upfront about that stuff, but it's always good to do your own research.
Make sure you know what you're putting in your body.
Right.
Okay, well, speaking of questions, we've got a lot coming in from listeners.
Right.
Let's see. This one says, can I take Prodentum if I'm already taking other probiotics?
That's a good question for their doctor.
Yeah, probably best to check.
They can look at their health histories, see if there might be any issues.
Okay, another listener asks about side effects.
Hmm.
What should people be aware of?
For the most part, probiotics are pretty safe, but
Yeah.
some people might get a little, like, bloating or gas.
Especially when they're first starting out.
Yeah, but that usually goes away quickly.
Okay.
But if they're worried, definitely talk to their doctor.
Yeah, good advice. Okay, here's one I bet everyone's wondering.
What's that?
Does Prodentum actually whiten your teeth?
That's a good question.
So does it?
Well, it has malic acid in it.
Right, we talked about that.
And that can make your teeth a little whiter,
Okay.
but it's not going to be like those professional treatments.
So more of a subtle brightening.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so maybe not ditching your whitening toothpaste just yet.
Probably not.
All right, here's one from a parent.
Okay.
Can kids take Prodentum?
I'm not sure they specifically say.
Okay.
I would definitely talk to their pediatrician or a dentist first.
Yeah, better safe than sorry.
Definitely.
Okay, last question for now.
All right.
This one's a little more serious.
Okay.
I have gum disease. Can Prodentum help?
That's important. Prodentum can promote gum health,
Right.
but it's not a replacement for actually going to the dentist.
So it's more of a supplement,
Exactly.
like to help alongside professional treatment.
Exactly. It shouldn't be the only thing they rely on.
Good to know. Well, that's all the time we have for listener questions right now.
Okay.
But stick around because next up we're going to zoom out a little.
Zoom out.
Yeah, we're going to look at the bigger picture of all this oral microbiome research.
Oh, interesting.
Like, what does it all mean? We'll be right back.
We're back for the last part of our deep dive on Prodentum and oral probiotics.
Right.
We've talked about the research, we've compared all the products,
Right.
we even answered some questions from our listeners.
Yeah, those are good ones.
Now I want to kind of zoom out a little bit.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier that this research on the oral microbiome, it's like opening up this whole new understanding of how everything's connected.
Yeah, it really is.
Not just your mouth, but your whole body.
It's not just an isolated thing.
Yeah.
It's connected to all these other systems.
Like what?
Your gut microbiome, your immune system.
Oh, maybe even your heart and your brain.
So you're telling me that what's happening in my mouth
Mm-hmm.
could affect, like, my heart? How does that even work?
It's all about these connections. They're so intricate.
Okay.
Like there are studies showing a link between oral bacteria and inflammation.
Oh, I've heard inflammation is bad news.
It is. It's linked to a lot of chronic diseases.
So it's not just cavities anymore.
No, it's so much bigger than that.
Wow.
It's like we used to think oral health was separate from everything else,
Right.
but now we're realizing it's all connected.
It's like a whole new way of thinking about it.
It is, yeah.
So what are some of the big mysteries still out there? What are you
Yes.
most curious about when it comes to this whole oral probiotic, oral microbiome thing?
One thing I'm really fascinated by is personalized oral care.
Personalized.
Yeah, like as we learn more about everyone's unique microbiome,
Okay.
I think we could see probiotics that are tailored to each person.
So like a custom probiotic blend?
Exactly, made just for you.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
What else?
I'm also curious about how we can use this knowledge to prevent problems.
Before they even start?
Exactly.
Yes.
Like, can we identify people who are at risk for gum disease
Right.
and then intervene early?
So it's not just about treating problems.
Right.
It's about preventing them in the first place.
Exactly.
That's the future.
It really feels like we're just scratching the surface of this whole thing.
Yeah, there's so much more to learn.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today in our deep dive.
We have.
We've learned about the science behind Prodentum, all the different products out there,
Right.
how to be a savvy consumer, and even the bigger picture of how our mouths are connected to our overall health.
It's all connected.
Hopefully you're walking away from this with a whole new appreciation for your oral microbiome.
Absolutely.
And remember, a healthy mouth means a healthy you. So keep learning, do your research, and talk to your dentist.
Yeah, they're a great resource.
And until next time, keep those brains buzzing and those smiles shining.